Hi, this is Meena.
And this is Kashmir.
We're SavaniSis,
here to activate Sukha, your inner joy.
So, in today's video, we're going to talk about why you may be confusing positive thinking with lying to yourself.
What? Hang on a minute. Positive thinking, lying to yourself. Hang on a minute. That doesn't make sense at all. What do you mean by that? Elaborate, please.
Okay, so have you noticed that when you're feeling angry inside, or you're feeling frustrated or upset or sad, and then you meet up with your friend and then your friend says, oh, just think positive. Just switch on your positive thoughts. You don't need to feel like this, just be happy. What do you feel like doing, guys? You want to slap her. You want to punch her. You want to be like, shush, be quiet. How can you say that? I feel like crap.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yes.
I've had that. Not that I would want to punch my friends, but you know, it's that kind of frustration feeling that how am I supposed to think positive? Have you noticed that when your feeling is so strong of frustration or anger or upset, and you try to think positive thoughts, it's very challenging. It's almost impossible because the feeling is so strong. It's harder to think greater than how you feel. Now notice that I'm pointing here when I'm talking thinking, and when I'm talking about feeling, I'm pointing to my body. The reason is because feelings are the language of the body and thoughts are the language
Of the brain.
When you have a feeling, what is a feeling? A feeling is a sensation within the body. So when you feel anger or you feel upset, you'll notice your body starts to tense. You might feel a bit of tension on your neck or your shoulders. You might feel a kind of twisting in your stomach if you're feeling upset or anxious. Your body might feel a bit shaky because you're shaken up with that anger. So all those are sensations in your body. That's all it is. Think about it. A feeling is a physical sensation. That's how a feeling manifests in your body. A thought is what your brain, your neural connections are firing and wiring, and that's coming from your brain. So when you're feeling, your entire body is feeling a certain way, it is so hard to battle against that and think anything greater
Than how you feel.
Yeah. So one of the concepts I wanted to share was that your body becomes the subconscious mind. And this is from teachings of Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you want to check him out, he talks about your body becomes a subconscious mind. So your feelings are within the body, and that's your subconscious mind. And your thoughts are your 5% conscious mind. So think about it. You are fighting or battling against 95% of what's here, and that 5% is trying to think or be greater than the 95%. That's on automatic. So why do you feel anger and why do you feel upset? It's because it's actually a memorized emotion from the past. So you might be triggered a certain way that somebody else might not be triggered, and that's because it's a memorized emotion that's in your body and you're used to thinking or you're used to feeling that way. So somebody says something to you and you're automatically triggered and feel anger or upset. That person might say the same thing to somebody else and they may not be triggered as much. They might feel maybe a little bit upset, but nowhere near as what you're feeling. And that's because it's based on memorized experiences, and those feelings are memorized within the body. So the next question is then, what do I do? Because if you're feeling awful and you say, I'm happy, 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 no matter what you do, it's like it becomes worse. When you try to think positively, you are lying to yourself because your feelings are telling you something completely different.
And then what happens? You start to feel frustrated.
Yeah. You get frustrated, you might feel even more anger, so that feeds into it, or you might feel more upset, that feeds into that feeling. So you're actually making things worse. And then you might say to yourself, this positive thinking stuff just doesn't work for me. Oh, this is not working for me. In fact, if anything, I'm feeling worse than I've ever felt before. Or you are upset with yourself because you can't think greater than how you feel. Or you're feeling maybe guilty for feeling that emotion and not being able to come out of it. So whatever comes out of this positive thinking and trying to think greater than your body, you're just making yourself feel worse, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you been through that? Because I've been through that.
I've been through that too. And then you say, but I'm supposed to feel good. I should be feeling good right now, but I don't. And that's what causes more of the frustration, more of the anger, more of the tension.
And what we call all of that is resistance. What you're doing is you're resisting what is. When you resist what is, that creates the upset feelings or the anger or the frustration or the impatience.
Yeah.
And so how do we overcome this? How do we really start to think greater than how we feel? Right?
Well, you did say there's going to be one easy magical trick.
Yes.
To cure this problem.
That's it. There's one easy magical trick. Now, this seems so easy that when you hear me doing it, you're not even going to believe me. But it works because I've done it.
I've done it.
You've done it. And many other people have done it. And it has worked. But you've got to refine that skill to be able to do it. So we're going to go through that tip now. And it's so easy. You're going to maybe laugh at us, or you might think this can't be true. So let's go through the steps. Kashmir, do you want to go through it with me?
Yes.
Okay. Step 1. Okay, take an example. You're feeling anger.
Oh, I'm so freaking angry right now. I'm so darn angry.
Just think positive, dear. Just think positive.
Oh, shut up. Don't tell me to think positive. Don't you dare tell me to think positive when I'm feeling like this.
So the step 1 is first admit that you're feeling angry.
Guys, I gotta admit something. I gotta make a confession. I'm feeling freaking angry right now. Can you see the steam coming out of my ears?
So you label that emotion, whatever that label is for you. It could be anger, it could be upset, it could be frustration, whatever it is. Just give it a label. Don't think about whether it's the right or wrong label. Just say what it is. I'm feeling angry right now.
Yes.
Step 2, you don't resist it. You allow it to be there because you're a human being, and human beings have every kind of emotion there is out there. So the way you want to accept it, I love that. The way you want to accept that emotion. Now this seems very contradictory. Why would you want to accept something that's so negative? That doesn't feel good in my body. And often this is the hardest step to do, because when something doesn't feel, remember, feelings are sensations in the body, and the sensations don't feel pleasant. They don't feel pleasant. You don't like them. You don't like your body tensing up or your stomach in knots. Subconsciously you may like it because it's a very familiar emotion for you and it's safe because you're used to that emotion. But consciously you don't like it there. So it's very hard to accept something that you don't want there in the first place. So all you do is you observe that sensation in your body and you embrace it. You welcome it in because it's there for a reason, and you're a human being, and it's absolutely fine for the physical body. The true essence of you is pure and at peace and full of love and joy. And this is just a physical body experiencing certain unpleasant sensations. So embrace it.
Embracing the anger.
You can put your arms out and then bring it in.
Come here, anger. I love you.
And you just observe that emotion. And when you're observing it, what that means is that imagine you stepped outside of your body and you're just looking at it without without judgment. You don't have any narrative after it. You're just observing. And that's all you do. You observe the sensations. You don't say to it, I don't want you to be here. You don't even say, I want to let go of you. I want you to leave me this sensation. I don't like you here. None of that. You just allow it to be. Now trust me, when you do this properly and you do it without judgment, without mental chatter, and all you are doing is observing it and allowing it to be there, within a few minutes, not a few days, not a few hours, not a few weeks, within a few minutes, that emotion plays in your body and it leaves you. It will leave your body within a few minutes of doing that. Sometimes within a few seconds, it can be that quick. So you only have to suffer, you can say, just for those moments when you're observing it, because it feels unpleasant. So to hold your presence there and observe it can be quite uncomfortable initially, but you just keep observing it. And if you want, you can even love it or embrace it, but don't try and love it and embrace it. Just allow it to be. And if you feel you want to embrace it, then do that as well. And just observe it, and I'm guaranteed it will be gone.
Wow, what a simple trick that is.
Yes.
And you're no longer identifying with your emotion either.
Yeah, it's not you
It's
anymore.
not a part of you.
It's not a part of you,
It's not
because
who you really are. Remember, guys.
who you really are is pure souls of peace, love and joy. You know when you have done this correctly, because your body will feel lighter.
Yeah.
You'll no longer feel that emotion. It's almost like a relief.
I feel lighter in my
I
body.
feel so good. And that feeling is so wonderful because it's left your body. Now, that feeling might come back again within a few hours, maybe on the same day it might come up again, but it will come up with less intensity than it did the first time round. So when it comes up again, you do the same technique again and then feel it leave your body, and then you'll feel again lighter. Now you keep doing that until the emotion's completely played through.
Wow.
And it's done what it needs to do, and you haven't suppressed that emotion. You've allowed it to just come up, and so that it could actually process, your body can process it and it can leave you. And that's all you want to do. That's how simple,
How simple is that? What a unique yet simple trick.
Yes.
And it's almost like this is how you break the habit of being yourself. This is how you really work on yourself, right? Because now you'll no longer identify with being angry. Therefore, you will no longer be called an angry person. It won't be part of your personality. It's amazing. Like, you can change yourself. This is how you change yourself, guys, for the better, to serve you in the best possible way.
And can I share a personal experience?
Yes, of course.
So I had bouts of anxiety, and when it was intense, it was actually very difficult to do this method. It was very challenging. Not to say it can't be done, it can. There are people I know that have done it. However, I found it very challenging. But when the intensity of it was a little bit less, that I felt like I could handle it, cope with it, I did this method. And I just took a few deep breaths, and then I kind of leaned back just ever so slightly, and then I just observed the sensations in the body of anxiety. As unpleasant as they were, I just observed and I just stayed with it. And it didn't even feel like a few minutes. I think it felt like just a minute, or maybe just over a minute. It had left my body. And then I didn't pay too much attention to it. But a few minutes later, when I just got up from my chair, I realised, oh my gosh, my body just feels lighter. Hang on a minute, I don't feel anxious anymore. It feels so good. And it was such a wonderful relief and a sensation. It's like somebody had given me a pill to just melt the anxiety away. And it just a very feeling of peace and calm inside of me.
Yeah.
Now the anxiety did come back after, I would say, a couple of hours or 2-3 hours. It did come back again. And then I didn't do that technique again. But the key is keep doing the technique. And the more you do it, the less the intensity of that emotion will come up, and you will feel better and better. In fact, Rhonda Byrne, she wrote The Secret. She shared such a wonderful story of how she cured her depression within 48 hours. She was falling into deep depression, and all she did intuitively, she thought, let me embrace the emotion rather than try and resist it, because the resistance was causing her more upset. So she embraced the emotion, and she said, just like we say, open the arms up and kind of embrace it, if that's how you want to visualize it, because that's a nice way to do it as well. But of course, find your own way. And then as she embraced it, she just observed it, and within a few minutes it had gone. And it did come back within a few hours, and then she did the technique again and again and again, and within 48 hours it was gone. It had left her body.
Wow.
Now, if you don't do this technique, what will happen over time is that all these emotions will be suppressed inside your body. And when they're suppressed, that's when they become memorized emotions and they become part of your subconscious. So when somebody says something to you, you get triggered, you automatically start to feel angry because it's a very automatic response. So when you realize that, hang on a minute, why am I triggered this way? Do I want to be at effect or at cause?
Over my reality.
Yeah. And when you actually question, why is it that I got triggered? And have the understanding that it's just simply a memorized emotion that you've suppressed and you haven't allowed to play through, that's when you can have the understanding, that's why I'm triggered. Rather than blaming that person, of course what they said was really nasty or really horrible, so of course I'm going to get angry. There are some people who can take whatever somebody else has said and they can still maintain a certain level of peace inside. And so that's real mastery. When your internal chemical state is greater than what's outside of you, that is mastery. So if you can master your emotions, you can sail through life like a Jedi Knight.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's how you master
And
through life.
that's the key to inner joy. That's when you feel good despite what's going on outside of you. Is there anything you want to add, Kashmir?
Yeah, so remember, what this is that you become more at cause over your reality, because now you're using these techniques to change your emotional states, to really be self-aware as to what is emotionally triggering you, so you'll never be at effect over what's going on around you. So when anybody upsets you, or you'll never have to be scared of that, because now you're in control of your own emotions. And that's the only thing that you can be in control of, how you respond, how you react, how you feel, how you think, right? And just knowing that you have creative control over these things means that you can be more at cause over your life than at effect. And it's a very powerful place to be, because that is what self-mastery is all about. Then you can live that magical life, like Meenal said, and walk through life like a Jedi Knight.
I love that summary, Kashmir.
So guys, we really hope that this cool, unique, yet pretty simple magical trick and technique helped you to master your emotions and your emotional responses. And if you love this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. It really supports us, really supports the mission of Inner Joy, and we will see you on the next video. Bye for now.